Hi there, I'm Jaylyn West and I'm back again with another motivational video, and today I wanted to talk to you about how to break our bad habits, because we all have them. And the positive way of saying it is how to make positive changes in our lives. You know, we're born with a certain personality and certain tendencies. We're raised in a family that does things in a certain way, and that's the rhythm of things. So we may not actually even realize that we have problems that need to be changed until it becomes a really big issue for us, and usually it's brought to our attention. So, and usually it's when it comes to our attention to the point that it's creating some real problems in our lives. And we realize, you know what? I have to make a change. This is not working for me anymore. This is counterproductive of where I want to be and who I want to be as a person, what I want to accomplish. So there are so many different things. You know, it could be anger issues. It could be maybe you're always late. You're a habitual worrier. You know, you're a foodie. Overconsumption. I don't know, lack of discipline. You know, the list goes on, and it's quite personal actually. And I'm not going to talk about each particular issue because we all have our own, and I'm going to share some of mine with you as examples of what not to do probably. But anyway, the first thing that we can do to change the situation is we have to own up to it. We have to admit that it's actually a real issue in our lives. It's something that needs to be changed, and we want to change. We're willing to take the steps that it takes to make these changes. So it's easiest if you can just completely avoid the situation. If you know that every time you go someplace, this is what happens, don't go there anymore. Those are the easy ones. Here are the harder ones, when you know that you have to do it anyway. So say like the issue is overeating. Well, you can't stop eating. That's ridiculous. We have to eat to survive, to live, and plus food is something that we enjoy. It's part of who we are socially and our habits. So what I do, because I do love to eat, is I try to eat food that's, you know, that I can eat a lot of that doesn't have a lot of calories in it, and yet still tastes good. So that's why I have the Facebook page, The Organic Lifestyle, because there's a lot of really good food out there that is not so fattening. But we have to decide on making an internal change if we can't change the situation. You know, there are a lot of different ways that we can do this, but we have to create the game plan of, when this happens, this is how I need to handle it. So you need to already have an action in place mentally, so that when it happens again, you can fall back on that. And you probably won't every time, and at first maybe not so much, but as you continually do that, because bad habits are just habits, and once you break them, then you replace them with the good habits. And that's how you change a bad habit, is you replace it with a good one. So let me give you an example though of something that I need to change, but there's an internal change that needs to take place within me. Many of you know that I have taken up golf, and although it's a very frustrating sport and my eye-hand coordination is not to my liking, I realize that I need to improve the game. But even more than improving my game is when I make a bad shot, I need to actually improve my attitude and my reaction when I make that bad shot, because I am not pleased with how I handle that particular situation. And so along with trying to improve my game is trying to improve my attitude when I make a bad shot. Because I'm not going to quit playing golf. I absolutely love it. Even if it is frustrating, it's still one of the most fun things that I've ever done. So we have to figure out how to do that, how to internally change what we're doing in the direction. And when we know that we're going to be in this situation, it's going to happen again. What are we going to do? How are we going to change it? what steps are we going to take to avoid that? If we know that every time we get around a certain person, things blow up and become explosive, then occasionally we'll still have to be with the people, or maybe not at all, but maybe it's your boss, maybe it's a coworker, you have to be in that situation, then we need to figure out, how are we going to react instead? What are we going to do? And so we come up with this game plan within our minds, and we actually take time out to really figure out what are some things that we can do, some positive things that we can do, because we can't change our circumstances most of the time. We can't change the people around us. All we can really change is ourselves. Now, if along with the internal change, it's always good, I believe, to find people who excel at where we want to be. So say like there's somebody in your life that you know and you really admire, and they do this thing so well that you really want to do, but you can't seem to do. How about if you just say, hey, you know what? I really admire the way you do this. How do you do that? It's amazing the helping hand that people will give us, and especially when they know that we look up to them. So it's a compliment to them, and most people, they will tell you, well, here's how I do it. Here's how I handle it. And typically we find out that it used to be a problem for them, but they've learned how to discipline themselves to overcome. Because it's about discipline. It's about figuring out how to overcome, and your will to change has to be stronger than the desire to do these things. So in conclusion, let's remember that we're the navigator for our own lives. We're not victims. Yes, as we know, life gives us lemons, but we create the lemonade from it. So let go of the victim mentality, because we all have things in our lives that are hurdles or obstacles for us. And then once we own up to that, then we can make the positive changes. And it's a daily thing. It's a daily decision. You can wake up one day and say, boy, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to really change this. And for whatever reason, things are just thrown at you from every direction, or you just completely blow up. Maybe something big happened and it completely blew it. You completely blew it. Forgive yourself and don't beat yourself up. Tomorrow's a new day. We make the decision daily to change, daily to make the improvements, and that's how it's done. And down the road, we get to look back and we get to see, oh my gosh, I can't believe I used to do that. Thank goodness I've made the changes in my life that I need to make. So that's pretty much it. I absolutely love creating these videos, and hopefully you learn from my mistakes so you don't make as many of your own. I love hearing from you. Please share this with a friend. If it touched you, let me know. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook. It's Jaylyn West with a capital L, Life in Our Community. I also have The Organic Lifestyle with all the groovy recipes on it. I follow a lot of great blogs. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, and then I have my own blog called Jaylyn's Groovy Blog. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time, my groovy friends. Take care.